Diablo 4 update. It is here. So I'm pretty impressed. Blizzard is updating us quarterly and they're doing quite a good job. They're keeping active. It tells me that all systems are go when it comes to Diablo 4. We definitely will be seeing it in the next couple of years, hopefully. And they've got a nice page set up here, Diablo4Blizzard.com. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you don't feel like checking it out, that's fine, because I'm here. I'm going to tell you all about it. Just be aware that you have to be at least 18 to enter, because it's mature content. So when you try and enter this page, it'll ask for your birth date. So you have to be either 18, or if you're not 18, you have to be able to come up with a birth date to make it look as though you're 18. So please be aware. Now, I cannot wait for Diablo 4 personally, because when I started my channel here, it was purely Diablo 3 guides and gameplay. And through the years of pumping out content and videos, I've played every class in the game, every set, every build, set dungeons. Like, I've uploaded videos on everything you can think of. So I guess in a way, Diablo 3 has been accomplished, mastered. Mastery achievement for your creepy uncle. And there's not much else to do at the moment in Diablo 3. There's no new videos I can come up with other than, you know, when seasons begin, and maybe just refresh builds when items and sets are being updated, that sort of stuff. Yeah, you know, that's all fine. But man, when Diablo 4 comes out, it's just going to open up so many possibilities to so much more content. Anyway, so when you enter the page, if you like, just click on updates here, and this gives you the quarterly updates, as you can see there. So I'm not going to go through February because we're in June right now, so let's go through the latest and see where we're at with Diablo 4. Alright, team playtest, so hello. I'm just going to try and cut out the fluff for everybody, so this is just a welcome team playtest. So basically, team playtest is groups of people that get together and play the game. We had BlizzCon, a bunch of gamers got to play it, lucky guys. So right now the developers are playing from home because of the current situation that we're in. So right now the developers, or whoever's involved in Diablo 4 at the moment, is playing through the region known as Dry Steppes, and they're completing campaign content, open world elements, itemization, a PvP subzone. So that sounds interesting. At least I don't think it'll be like complete PvP open world like World of Warcraft was. Maybe it's just certain zones, but that sounds interesting. I prefer organized PvP as opposed to like non-stop open world PvP. Like, you might just be trying to craft some items or trying to farm some materials or something like that, and some idiot comes and kills you, or as we used to call it in the Worldcraft days, ganks you, and then they can farm your corpse if they're really annoying. They just keep on killing you, so you can't play the game. I like having subzones, so that way it's organized. You can go on in there, and then it's, you know, PvP, free-for-all. Dungeons! Yes! And a cinematic to cap the completion of the region's narrative. That sounds good. So every time you complete a region, you get some sort of cinematic. I like the idea of more cinematics and more cutscenes in Diablo 4. Of course, we play the game all the time, but we're often examining individual features or areas, taking time to play the same build together as a team over multiple days. Fine, totally fine, and I'm glad that, so right now they're focusing on Region 1, I believe. I think it's the first region. I believe Dry Steppes wasn't the region they played at BlizzCon. I can't remember. I can't even remember what happened yesterday, let alone BlizzCon 2019. So Dry Steppes, I think, is another region. So they're progressing through at least 2 regions right now. So we're getting there, Let's keep on moving down. A word about blockout. So blockout is basically, as you can see here, when an environment has no detail but it lets you play, you can still play through the actual level. So this character, they're probably testing out the character, and as you can see down here, so right here, no detail around, it's all just like squares, 3D modeling squares and whatnot, just blank characters there, but you can still probably run around there. So that's pretty much what blockout refers to. This one's a lot more detailed, probably still not finalized, but a lot more detailed, as you can see. So they're playing through blockouts, and down here they're providing us with some screenshots of demon art. So this is what this demon's going to look like, sort of, still early shots. So this is obviously early stages. It's definitely not final. As you can see, there's not much color on him, but still looks pretty awesome there. Some 3D stuff going on down here, a little bit more detail. But again, it's probably going to look even better at the end. So yeah, look, Blockout is just like early stages stuff. Most developers don't show that sort of stuff, but it's just good to see the progress. I'm excited. Is everyone excited for Diablo 4? It's just me. Storytelling, the all-important, the almighty storytelling. So a couple of things have evolved on how they deliver the story in Diablo 4. First, we have conversations. Yes, I'm sick of hearing a voice and just having text come up, or these like bobbles come up. Let's have a proper conversation. In D3, we relied on UI panels with the character's name and portrait. We're experimenting with a mix of tool-generated and manually choreographed cameras to take conversations. For simple interactions with NPCs, we bring the camera in closer to the characters while still maintaining an overall isometric feel, and use a library of animations to deliver the general gist of the conversation. For more complex conversations, we take a similar camera approach, but here's the character's movements and animations are more deliberately handcrafted. This lets us deliver story moments that are complex while keeping you in a world as much as possible. Here's a shot from such an interaction. I like that. So it zooms in and you're actually having a proper conversation, and you see the lip movements, and it'll feel like you're actually interacting with someone, as opposed to, you know, your follower saying something stupid. You don't see his lips move. You're killing all these demons around you. I like this. I don't mind if it still has captions down below, so it looks like it's still going to be captioned. Can you see my mouse there? Holy shit, I gotta have a shave. Have a look how hairy I'm getting. I just saw myself. I had no idea. When I woke up this morning, this thing wasn't here, I swear. Alright, so it looks like we still have the whatchamacallit, the captions down here, which is fine. Oh, this looks awesome though. Like, where are they? This, obviously, what are they doing to this demon? Jesus, you think the demons are the bad guys? Like, what are you guys doing to the demon here, chopping his legs off and stuff? Anyway, they've crucified the demon. They're having a chat about it. And I like the idea of conversations. It feels more, it draws you in more, and it feels more real, and you feel more absorbed into the game and the actual story, I believe. The second storytelling method we're developing is real-time cutscenes. Yes, so as you progress through the story, let's see some actual cutscenes progressing through, not just some quick, you know, death like in Diablo 3. Even though we didn't get many cutscenes in Diablo 3 at all. It's just, I think, when we completed an act, and it wasn't exactly it was just like a transition to another act. It wasn't actually a story-driven or story-based cutscene. So here, like at the moment, I'm playing Last of Us 2. Lots of cutscenes in Last of Us 2, and then it kind of, you know, molds into the gameplay as well. You can't even tell when the cutscene ends and the gameplay begins. I love that effect. God of War 4 had that effect, or God of War on PlayStation 4, the newest God of War, and I like the idea of cutscenes. Again, it absorbs you into the story and sucks you in, draws you in, and it feels more real. So here's an example of some cutscene stuff. Looks really good, looks really good. Pre-alpha, but looks detailed for sure. So very excited for cutscenes. Open world, baby. Now, a lot of people are kind of umming and ahhing about open world. I believe the open world is going to be more like Destiny 2 based. So it's not going to be like World of Warcraft where it's complete open world everywhere. I believe that you can choose when you go into an open world area, kind of like the farm in Destiny, where you go there and that's where characters. I think there'll be sections and camps, I believe, where it's open world kind of thing happening. I don't know if it's going to be full open world like World of Warcraft, but anyway, let's have a quick read and see what they're saying. We're bringing Diablo series new open world sanctuary, so while you can concentrate on the story campaign. So see, I think if you're concentrating on the story campaign, the open world aspect isn't going to really affect you that much, which is good, because it appeals to people that aren't interested in open world and playing with others. You can play alone, and then you can choose to play with other people. So fear not, people. I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed. So you can concentrate on the story campaign and work through that. We have a variety of open world systems and pieces of content that you're also discovering along the way. If you want to take a break from the main campaign and go exploring, crafting, or PvPing, you are free to do so. That's something that I'll probably be doing every zone. I'm not going to just play through the story and zip through it. I want to play everything, immerse myself. fully in Diablo 4. During the playtest, we saw this variability in action quite a bit. On an average playthrough, team members took several hours to complete the campaign content for a region, but those who focused only on the story finished the arc in less than half the average time. Alright, so we think the ability to approach the game with a different mix of story and side content tailored to your own appetite will be playing and replaying the campaign more enjoyable than it has been in previous ARPGs. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to focus on a region and do PvPing or side quests and things like that, or just go through the story. I think most of us, the majority, or at least like 80% of us, will be exploring most of the content and finishing off a region before moving on. I definitely will. Moving on down, we have many open world activities such as crafting, events, world PvP and side quests. Perhaps the most popular open world feature was camps. Alright, so what are camps? These are locations of importance that have been overrun by enemies, which once cleansed turn into friendly outposts with NPCs and a waypoint location. While there is a backstory to each camp, most of the storytelling is visual and quests don't directly send you to them. Interesting. For example, one of the camps in the zone was a town afflicted by a curse that turned villagers into piles of salt. Oh my, sounds painful. But this is the sort of awesome stuff that I love, that I love hearing. Another was a crypt. I love crypts. Haunted by a spirit that possesses the bodies of various undead. I love undead. Jumping from skeleton, I love skeleton, to skeleton until you defeat them. We really dug the impact of seeing the world change as you reclaim a small piece of sanctuary and bring hope to its common folk. We look forward to the open world designers showing you more about this feature in the future. So I just wonder if camps have to be taken down in teams or whether you can do it on your own. I'm assuming you can. I'm assuming you'd have to do it in teams. I don't know. You can. I mean, if it's not part of the actual campaign story. Anyway, moving on. Mounts. So there will be mounts in this game. Again, I think it's going to have a little bit more of an RPG feel, but it's not going to be like flat out World of Warcraft, even though I would love a World of Diablo game. So it's like World of Warcraft, but you're playing with the Diablo lore and the Diablo type characters. That would be insane, Blizzard. Hint, hint. World of Diablo. But I think there will be a lot more RPG type elements. Obviously now we're getting mounts as well. And now when you get certain achievements and things, and you get trophies, and you can actually have it on your mount. So if you've done something special in the game, you can hang it up on your mount, so when you go across other players, they can see that trophy on your mount and they know that you've accomplished something. That's pretty cool. Sounds cool, definitely. Attaching trophies to your mount. Obviously you can probably customize your mount, but it just does say here, navigation and turning is currently too easy to get stuck in stray pieces of collision or to get dismounted by random enemy projectiles. So there's still got a little bit of work to do on mounts, but anyway, we will be seeing mounts, which is pretty exciting. Multiplayer. Fine-tuning the right approach to multiplayer in Diablo 4 has been challenging. Our goal has been to incorporate elements from shared world games without the game ever feeling like it's veering into MMO territory. So this is what I'm saying. It's going to be definitely appealing to people that don't want to have that like MMO type feeling. So you don't always have to have someone tagging along with you. You can just play through the story. But then if you want to do, I think, what do they call them? Dungeons and PvP areas, arenas, or whatever they're going to have. They're going to have like obviously like proper PvP, organized PvP sections in this game. So it's up to you if you do that, which I think is great, because not everybody wants to always have someone tagging along with them. If you're like me and you're up at these crazy hours and you work ridiculous hours, so, you know, not a lot of your friends that live normal lives, then again, no one's living a normal life right now, but those people that work like, you know, 9 to 5 jobs, or they work during the day, you know, I work all over the shop, you know, sometimes during the day, sometimes at night, sometimes I'm playing at like 3 in the morning and nobody's online. So I like to be able to progress through a game on my own if I have no other options. I don't want to rely on a clan or a guild or something like that, but it is good that they have also multiplayer elements, so if you want to, you can go into a dungeon or do some PvP, so that's pretty cool. So speaking of dungeons, here we go. It says dungeons and key story elements are always private. Okay, so we can't team up in dungeons, just the player and their party. Yeah, so dungeons will be like an instance, I'm assuming. You have to get into a group and then go into your dungeon. Obviously, it'll probably be a lot more difficult. You get better loot with more people in the group, and as opposed to going alone, it'll probably be a bit easier easier. Much like Diablo 3 now, if you play in groups, the more people, the harder it gets. But, you know, Torment, what are we up to, 16 now, isn't that challenging for anybody, even solo. Once story moments are completed though and towns turn into social hubs, you'd run into a few people in town. While on the road, you'll sometimes run into a player here and there. So there we go. So you can still run into players, but obviously I don't think, if you don't want to interact with them, you don't have to. You can still carry on with the story or campaign playing solo. And then finally, if you went to a location where a world event is happening, so this is kind of like Destiny where there's world events happening, you just pop in there and just join. You can see a larger congregation of players trying to defend against an attack by a cannibal horde. This sounds amazing. Or trying to take down a Shava, the demonic world boss we showed at BlizzCon. It's worth calling out that while some coordination is helpful during these events, you are never forced to join a party. Solo players can walk in, help complete the event and claim a reward. So if you're in the right place at the right time, you can still walk in on a group that's, you know, planned out to kill a boss and still get the rewards. Yeah, kind of unfair in some ways, but you know, you do have dungeons for, this is a world event, so it is what it is. It would be pretty unfair if you came in and helped someone, but you weren't in their group and you did a lot of the work and then you got no rewards. So it's kind of, yeah, I think, you know, if you do enough damage, you should get the reward. But you shouldn't just be able to rock up and claim the reward. I think you have to sort of participate at a certain percentage level to be able to access the reward, I think. That's how I think it should work. So we think this seamless approach to multiplayer is working well and look forward to sharing more about this approach with you in our tests for the future. The world feels alive and dynamic without compromising the feel of Diablo. And for players that do want to party up against the minions of hell, we have tools available to find a group, whether by activity or proximity, in game world. Items and progression. One of the things that was very useful about our 2-day playtest was that we could get better feedback on progression, as there was a sense of performance. Gear and skill choices you make on day 1 have an impact on day 2. Though some people chose to roll alts as we had multiple classes to test, a friend of mine used to say that Diablo is the game that you keep playing inside your head, and Diablo 4 is no different. True. In addition to official playtime allotted to the team during the playtest, I could feel the game lingering in my mind, thinking about the items that could possibly drop for my builds and talents I could finally unlock to get these key skill interactions. Yeah, I used to go to bed thinking about World of Warcraft as well, all the time, just thinking I can't wait to get up. I should be grinding. I should be PvPing right now to get honor points so I can get, you know, so I can level up. But anyway, let's check out some items here. So it looks kind of similar. Vampire's pants. I want a pair of Vampire's pants. It looks similar. We've obviously got the yellow items, which are rares in Diablo 3, but now we've got, I believe, what, epics? No, that'll just magical items. They're like blue items, but they look more purple there, like epic. So, and these will be like the legendary items. So legendary is still back. Looks a little bit different. Ancestral power, damage to healthy enemies. I like how they've changed things up. It's not just the same sort of stuff, the same sort of stats. Ancestral power, damage to healthy. What about unhealthy enemies? How come enemies have to be healthy? Gem strength to this item, demonic power. So it's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be fresh and new in this game. I can't wait. Other thoughts? Basically just saying that they're enjoying the early stages of the game, and the overall feedback is it is very fun to play. Well, I can't wait to get my hands on it myself. So yeah, look, a lot of work to go, and I do appreciate that they do these updates, even though I'd like to see some video updates, you know, maybe some gameplay. Holy shit, this is going to be like an awesome boss fight. I would like to see some videos, but this is great too. You know, you got some screenshots here, and I do like how they're going for a bit more of an open world feel. It feels like the game's going to be a lot bigger. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is this conversation thing, how it actually feels like you're having a conversation. That really seems cool. Cutscenes. So, you know, early 3D models. It's all looking really good, people. But that's pretty much it for the quarterly update for Diablo 4. Cannot wait till this game comes out, and you can rely on me to be back for the next quarterly update. Until next time, stay safe out there, stay heavy metal, stay demonic Diablo 3 style, baby, and stay creepy, most importantly.